Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to another scene for the Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York, wherein 10 Point is being the good girl. She has lived a life wrought with the temptation of just staying curled up in bed, particularly seeing as Aiden is also still curled up in the bed. And it's just warm and comfortable, and it's so nice. But she has keeper duties. And, you know, you can only say fuck it so many times before you really do have to get up and do the things. There are spirits that rely on this. Like, sure, the gardening's a little bit of bullshit, but you folk can pick up the slack on that, right? Or something. But no. 10 Point has finally gotten herself up, albeit potentially to many protests, and whisked out, changed her clothes, and finally gone about visiting the appropriate spirits, the various shrines, all of those, you know, kind of just background duties that she sees to on the day-to-day. And as such, we'll sit her finally at the end of her rounds, probably in front of a stag shrine, kneeling and bleeding. Not much, but bleeding. And while she may not have a really cool hand-me-down like Aiden does, she does have the big old hunting knife that Dallas has given her, which certainly serves the same purpose. So she'll be sitting there with the blood-touched blade resting at the antlered feet of the depiction of Stag, and her cheekbones probably knitting back together as she kneels there. Do you even need to use blur?
Yes, I do. Just real quick. Doesn't matter, can't use it, botch. Fuck it, I've sent the running water anyway. I'll just make a stealth roll. Creep. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, and then rolling for blissful ignorance. Stand in place. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4 successes on that. So Aiden will crouch up, crawl, following 10 Point. Then when he gets just close enough, he activates that little gift of his and stays exact still, staring at her as he's crept up literally right behind her. So if she turns around, he's not there at all.
Don't forget that it's house ruled. You can move with blissful ignorance.
No, Amachan confirmed that.
Oh, did they fix it?
Stay in one place. Yeah.
That's okay. She's focused, and let's face it. Maybe if someone was walking flatly up to her, but no, him creeping and whatnot. Nah, she's in the zone.
So he will grab onto her, coming out of the shadows, and roll his gnosis. And they're in the Umbra.
Oh, yeah. Funny thing about being yoinked, like literally yoinked in real life, in person, being grabbed startles her into like kind of doing that gasp in breath in preparation. But by time she manages to really give out a proper shout, like a startled yelp, they're already in the Umbra. I'm assuming he just carried her along because packs are funny like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And when she eventually turns around, she will see Aiden standing right there in front of her.
Oh yeah, she'll, assuming that she has the freedom of movement to do so, like whips around after the yelp, kind of doing that excited, like fear pant, like there's catching her breath, eyes enormous, and she whips around and it's Aiden, and she just kind of shorts out for a second, and just goes from looking terrified to looking really deeply confused and relieved because he scared the crap out of her.
How you doing, 10 Point?
Fine, Raya? I think. And she kind of picks up the hand and sets it on her chest like the feel your own heart hammering on your ribcage thing.
Did I scare you, did I?
Yes, Raya. Yes, very much.
Well, how did I do that? I just thought I'd bring you into the Umbra for a bit. You seem to be so busy.
She blinks a couple times and glances around. Oh. Thank you, Ryan?
Oh, well, come on. He'll just, like, if 10 point puts up resistance, I will roll, but he just literally up over the shoulders, just whoop,
No, she might do like that half step back as he goes down to scoop her up, but no, she's not gonna stop him from just straight hucking her over her shoulder.
And he will begin to run in the direction of the lake. Full speed.
And so she kind of grabs a hold of his shirt, like kind of, let's face it, she's been carried a lot of times, but not usually over the shoulder. So she's kind of clinging to the back of his shirt going, Raya, where are we? What are we doing? What's happening?
On. Just hold on, 10 point. Hold on. As he gets near the lake, he'll roll his noses again for the fucking lulls because we're good. Time this perfectly. Perfect. So he jumps just as you're coming to the water, and next thing you know, back into the Silurian, and we both land in the water perfectly.
10 point is now confused, mildly alarmed, and very wet, and floundering once they've hit the water to kind of get herself back up to the surface. Because yeah, just what is her life right now? So yeah, she just kind of flounders up, and once she's up there, treads water, but is kind of gasping and kind of glancing around, trying to figure out where he is and what he's doing.
And Aiden, you know what? She didn't see where Aiden landed.
I mean, it was in the water. She's got that much going for her.
All right, then. I'm gonna try activate this ignorance then for the lols. I get 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
And what does it do? So just takes away my dice?
Takes away your perception dice to see me. So I take every success. So 1, 2, 3, 4 dice.
Is it taking away successes or dice?
Dice.
Oh, Jesus.
For every success I get, it takes away dice.
So she literally just has her alertness score right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're telling me.
Yep. Don't forget to send running water.
Yeah. Oh, what, diff 8 base?
Yep.
Spot him. She got one whole success.
You see the shadow of him there, rippling.
Yeah. She, like, takes a quick glance around once she's broken the surface again. And yeah, kind of when he doesn't immediately come up, starts actually, turning herself this way and that way and looking with greater concern. And we'll finally spot where he's set. I assume there's like a telltale bubble or something she catches.
You hear the,
Oh, Jesus.
So I'm going to make a death at right X roll, Katie. I'm going to put this at diff 8.
Oh, God, what are you doing?
My daredevil thing will kick in. I'm gonna surge out of the water. I'm trying to grasp onto 10 point. So just select is number 7 plus 3. Daredevil. Oh, thank God. So yes, 1 success. I barely grab onto you in time. Actually, no, 2 successes with precise. So I barely grab onto you in time. And next thing you know, Aiden is flying out of the water, holding onto, aiming for the ground. I'm assuming we hit the ground pretty hard.
Very probably. And yeah, she gets scooped and is suddenly catching air again. And yeah, at this point, it's just kind of curled up and clinging because, oh God. Like winces when they land heavily. on his feet. Then looks up again, pulling soggy hair out of her face.
What's wrong, 10 point?
I'm confused.
What? Can a man not have a bit of fun?
She finally kind of just barely takes on the hint of a grin. And she'll reach up and, getting her feet under her, will reach up and, like, basically with a hand, do that casual, like, just brush a mass of hair. Like, not doing the, like, finger comb thing, but just kind of dumps a bunch of his own wet hair in his face.
He's like, dude's big. Yeah, he does that grin there. Everyone's been so miserable lately. And I know there's been a war going on and all that, but can we not enjoy ourselves?
I guess so, right?
You look down at her. Sometimes, often joy can bring out the best of us in it. Do you know? Plus, we don't do this often as a pack. Just have fun together.
And again, it's a very tentative smile, but I mean, what could she possibly need otherwise? He's right there. You know, the worm isn't in her head. Everything's fine. It's fine. So yeah, she starts kind of tentatively smiling, and it'll broaden after a moment. She actually will end up turning her face away as though, like, no. So he won't, like, the hide the smile thing. But shakes her head the slightest bit afterwards. It's too infrequent that we really indulge in just being happy, isn't it?
Exactly. I mean, there's not a lot to be happy about. Just nod. But we're all still alive. So, it's something at least, right?
It's enough.
For now it is, yeah. You smile a bit. So, 10 point. Why don't you get up and start running and I'll see if I can catch you?
She has finally turned the grin back on him, and that kind of lofts her brows. You're not even going to run, you're just going to jump.
Well,
It's cheating, Raya.
You have to wait and see, won't you? Wink.
And she considers this and weighs it for a moment, kind of almost mock thoughtfully, casting her glance this way and that way, and finally, with zero warning, just whips around and takes off running along the edge of the lake, essentially jumping from river rock to river rock, and yeah, just starts running pell-mell that away.
All right.
Right along the edge.
Yeah, he'll smile a bit warmly. We'll begin to chase after her, skipping.
Sorry, the image of Aiden skipping.
It's horrifying yet amazing. But yes, I'll roll Death Athletics to see how fast he goes. Trying to catch her. Be laughing his ass off. Just the one.
Yeah, she's doing slightly better. She's having a good old time, actually, with the idea of jumping along the more stony side of the lake, and is actually having a good time of it, kind of bounding rock to rock. So it's helping her keep up speed fairly well, because if she doesn't keep momentum, she's going to miss the next jump.
Yeah, he will vault this time, getting that extended little bonus from that little gift of his.
And I am going to roll Perception Alertness to see if she catches on to when he makes that jump. She absolutely does.
I mean, considering about the success it's got, it's a hell of a jump.
It's a hell of a jump. I guess there's definitely the sound of his feet grinding on the ground as he launches. And as soon as he does, she just, fling a fiendish grin over her shoulder, will fling herself sideways into the lake.
Yeah, he'll land. Oh, he'll land on one of the stones and look over and like, "Oh, you motherfucker!" You know what I mean? And fuck it, and activate that gift again. I think stock still doesn't work. Then curses to himself and dives in after her.
Yep, she dives in. She resurfaces, probably just in time for him to splash in. And waits for him to come back up. Kind of gets a stroke or two away and waits for him to come back up so that she can splash him.
She'll feel the tug on her ankle. She'll just feel like vice-like grip on her ankle.
There is a very fleeting oh shit look, and she will gulp air.
As she is brought down immediately. Just, you know.
And back under she goes. I assume that after he's yanked her, he's letting go of the ankle.
Oh yeah, immediately. She just pulls her down so she can be face to face with him.
It is just absurd enough to get yanked down and end up kind of floating face to face. Not even floating, but kind of drifting face to face. That she gets yanked down and she starts to kind of get her bearings again and sees him right there in front of her. And it actually kind of startles a grin out of her even underwater, which means that she will very soon be putting out a lot of bubbles and losing her breath, because that is not how you seal air in. And we'll go ahead and start stroking back up towards the surface again.
Yeah, he flies up very athletically. Is there in front of her, standing.
Yeah, she'll drift over to where there's standing height water, and do much the same, pulling her hair out of her face and down off of her antlers.
Smile at her. You enjoying yourself, are you?
She again kind of half hides the grin, because clearly she should feel guilty about being happy. I don't know. She's just weird. But she does the whole turn aside of head, still grinning in that catching kind of way. Yes, Raya.
What are you enjoying, though?
Kind of affects a slight tilt ahead and turns her gaze back on him properly. And again, it's the very familiar, the fleeting kind of measuring look at his face to see, just to kind of try to assess.
It doesn't seem like any, confrontation. He's just curious. You see he's taking off one of his shirts. You notice he is uncomfortable with the water touching his back, but you can tell he's just getting used to the scars on his back.
So yeah, after a glance, that fleeting little measuring glance, she'll loosen up again to a more honest expression. What do you mean?
Oh, what are you enjoying? I'm curious. What do you enjoy? What are you enjoying about it all?
Then she'll actually kind of reach out, especially since he's had the contagious grin the whole time, and just very briefly kind of touch her fingers to his cheek. Seeing you happy, Raya. It's been a very long time. It's very catching.
I mean, there are decisions I'm currently making and things I still have to do. But, you do that kind of smiled and actually very much like the GIF, actually. I mean, trying to be, do you know? It could be worse. You know what I'm saying?
It can always be worse, Raya. Happy just looks good on you.
Yeah, it kind of like twirl his fingers along the water, like splash it lightly, playfully. People often forget sometimes you don't need to talk about stuff. You just need to, do things.
Just need to feel it, Raya.
It's not even that. You kind of like will tread along beside her and kind of walk along, and playfully splashing her again.
Oh yeah, she'll counter. Just the small little kind of mock splash.
And just people like to sit and talk the whole time, and it's good and all, but I miss the days where we could just do stuff like this,
Yeah.
Everyone's so serious lately. Look out.
The smile will grow on her face again. This time not like the playful little grin, but an earnest smile. And she'll reach out and kind of give his shoulder a playful shove. I seem to remember a time where you were still new to us, and still new to our cabin, and fascinated by things like fuzzy robes.
They're nice robes.
So fancy.
Very fancy. So fancy.
Those are better times. And there's no reason this can't be the same.
I know, you miss things, do you know what I'm saying?
We do. And perhaps we need a ragabash, now and again, to remind us to stop overlooking the chances we have to be happy, to just do things. Silly things like this. She sidesteps and this time brings the arm down to get a proper sweep so she can get a proper little wave of water going at him.
Yeah, he playfully does the like spitting of the water out so it comes out in a line out of his mouth, looking at her playfully. I don't know. I thought about maybe speaking at the moot, but I don't know at some point.
Well, Raya, while you usually use the ability to hone in on something that needs saying, even if they don't want to hear it, you have every ability to read the people around you and to determine if what you want to say will be heard.
I mean, funny thing is, he like splashes her again, like flicks. I used to care if they didn't want to hear it. I'd make them hear it anyway. Do you know? Smile down at the water. Whereas now each step I take is incredibly measured.
You can make a person hear, Raya, but you can't make them listen.
I know. You smile at her. Guess it's me growing up, right?
She kind of reaches out and ruffles his wet hair.
It's just, I don't know. You realize a few things and you're looking out at the water and the waves and, yeah, it's all shit ahead of you, but at least I still have my family and you and, I made my bed and I've laid in it and that's nice.
There's the little like, yeah, it's pretty nice. Little nod.
Smile over at her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she immediately after adopts the teasing grin.
Just, things just seem... Of course, there's things I'll always want, but I don't know. It's nice
Most
to...
choices are hard in the moment, Raya, but it doesn't mean that life isn't good and that it can't be.
Points at her. There you go. Exactly. Besides, from what I'm seeing, everyone wants to be friends with me again. Smirks just a tiny bit.
Who?
Everybody by the looks of things. I'm getting all these people leaving me stuff out in their the cabin door and all that.
Why wouldn't they?
You look at her, and then this time get cupped both hands together. She is engulfed by a mini tsunami of water.
She kind of sputters. Yeah, brings up the arm, which, is completely unhelpful, and sputters a bit, pulls her soggy strands of hair back out of her face.
You know why? Come on, I've been a bit of a dick.
Well, maybe, but the way you've acted under duress and who you are, two different things. And while not everyone has the conviction it takes to stand beside you at your worst, who couldn't want to be around you at your best?
Well, yeah. Look over at her. I've developed a new strategy. See, everyone expects me to walk over and playfully take her hand and fold it in his and look at her. Everyone expects me to do the old techniques that I did. And it's often hilarious when they realize that I'm feeding them the things they want to hear, so they shout at me and tell me all the things they want to say to themselves. And then at the very last second, I tell them what's right. And they realize the consequences of it all. I'm liking it.
I'd say it's a good change in tactic, especially in a place like this.
Don't worry, I'm still me. A wink.
I know you are. And yeah, she's happily clasped the hand that was offered to her.
I feel different. And it's weird, and it's exciting, and it's frightening. Look over at her with a smile.
We learn and we grow and we change, Raya. You're still you.
What about you, Missy? Donks her playfully, water just gushes right over her nose.
Yeah, she sputters and ends up kind of snorting out water, shakes her head a bit, looks at him, doesn't even bother pulling the hair out of her face this time. What about me?
How are you feeling, eh?
And the clasped hand gets a light squeeze. You're here, so I'm fine.
You sure?
It's kind of a dismissive shrug.
Smiles at her. Come on, you can tell me. After all, we're being also honest with you here in the lake. And again, she gets covered in a tsunami of water. There is no escape.
She'll kind of try to do some sort of thing, twist around behind him and out of the way, but sure enough, yeah, she's gonna get sloshed real well. And again, she's given up. She's probably got a strand of hair up over one of the antlers. She gives up. It's a losing battle.
Smile at her. Laughing just a tiny bit.
Oh, she looks at him in that most mock serious way, with a big old lock of hair up over one of the antlers and dangling back down in front of her face.
You look goofy as hell.
Essentially the "oh, what are you laughing at" face.
He just looks at her. You look goofy as hell at some point. Smiles warmly.
A helpless shrug. There's not much to be done about it, Raya. I'll have to live with it every day of my life.
I know. We touch her face playfully. Goofy 10 Point. That's your new nickname.
Is it?
I hereby deed you 10 Point. 10 Point of the goofiness.
That's a very long deed name, Raya.
I know. It's catchy. We can just call you Goofy.
Oh, no, Raya. Oh.
Smiles.
I don't think that's suited at all.
I think it's a perfect nickname.
You would.
Yeah, of course I would. I made it. Smiles.
I will be fine.
You better be.
As long as you are here, Raya, I will be fine.
I mean it. You better be alright.
I'm trying.
I know you are. I think you're doing well. We've had our bumps in the road. We look at her with a smile. I think we've managed alright, haven't we?
This is when he, particularly the I think you're doing well, there's that little like face that again turned quickly off to the side. Because, just because she doesn't retain scars like he does when she does stupid things, it doesn't mean she doesn't do stupid things. But turns a glance back around once she's cleared that expression. We do well. And after all, how can you doubt people wanting to be around you? I have an impeccable sense of taste.
Really? Says the one who dresses in hippie clothes the whole time. Smirks.
Right, I don't really get the chance to go shopping.
I could take
All
you.
I
if
have
you
are
wanted.
hand-me-downs.
I could take you if you wanted.
I've looked on the street. How do you even pick clothes? There's
I could bring you if you like.
like a pause.
Look, waddle over, splashing her again. You'd like tap the antlers. We'll just cut these off. If you want, maybe me and Dallas could bring in. Dallas is a girl as well, so it might be a bit handier.
He taps the antler, and she immediately affixes him with kind of an accusatory look. You're gonna make me wear that stupid hat, Raya.
It's not. He just smiles at her. It's not a stupid hat. Banshee likes you wearing it, so
She knows I don't need it, Raya.
She leaned down. But we might just, we'll put it on when we're leaving. You can take it off and we'll put it on when you come back. That way, he taps his nose. But Mom doesn't know won't hurt her, will it? Smiles at her.
There's just the hint of a mischievous smirk there. Because, she would never do that.
Never.
Ever.
No, oh God, no. 10 Point's such a good girl.
How do you even... It seems so strange to buy new clothes. Considering she, gestures to the lake and then out with the other hand at the expanse of the park. It's not like they regenerate, Raya.
Well, maybe we'll see. Maybe you'll get a habit for it.
I doubt it. I have no way to get money.
Well, if you want, I could give you like a certain portion of money and you can go out and buy clothes and...
I still have the winnings, or most of them.
Well, there you go then. If you wanted to go with just Alice, I understand. Girls and all that. Girls and all that.
There's the rapid little head shake, and she'll snag up his hand again.
It's just I won't be able to go and get changed with you. It's Hamid's, they like separate change rooms and shit.
That's fine.
But like, if you wanted to just be me or just be Dallas, I don't mind.
She mulls over it. Good offer. But as long as you're there, Raya.
I'll make sure she doesn't dress into anything fucking stupid either. This is a weird sense of taste.
Gets a little side eye. Thought you said she would have good insight, Raya.
Yeah, well, she has good insight, but Dallas is Dallas, and she's an idiot at times. I mean, dress way better than she does.
Who does? Sorry?
I do, he said.
There's a little head shake and another grin. It seems to be pretty stuck on her face. The smile.
I mean, there's no one really other girls here that would probably take you. I mean, I can't bring Felix. He'll never stop bitching.
I can't imagine that Felix would enjoy standing and watching as I tried to pick out clothes.
It might be good for Felix to get out, though.
Maybe.
I think he needs it. Let's just say he's after making a very similar choice to mine and he's coping with it. So it might be good to have him, you know.
There's a little crease of brow. And instead of even asking out loud, there's just kind of the inquisitive lilt in the back leg.
Through the pack link, he'll just say, you kind of feel like he can't tell you, but he just says to Felix. You can just get the impression he's just a bit worried about Felix.
He's welcome to come, Raya, if he wants to.
We can ask him, extend an invite and that. I mean, on top of that, he's just lost Shinlo as well, so maybe getting them outside.
That she'll finally give a slow nod to. Face finally falling into something a little more sincere. Yeah. It's not a bad idea, Raya. Besides, I don't even know where to go, so...
Don't you leave that to me. I'll take you to the fancy shops.
Fancy?
Fancy? Fancy?
She kind of grins and shakes her head again. Obviously, it's a making fun of herself kind of little head shake. Raya, why would I wear something fancy?
Smirks at her a bit. You're in our pack. And we are nothing if we're not fancy.
A skeptical eyebrow loft.
10 point, you're the best menace I've ever seen in my life. I think you deserve to have something.
Just seems silly to wear nice clothes working in the park. Living in the park.
You don't have to wear them all the time. That's why we're going to get you functional clothes, but we're also going to get you something nice. Because it's always nice to have something to wear that makes you feel, makes you feel untouchable. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's an awkward word choice. So there's like a brief kind of but
it's like when you throw on these clothes and you look at yourself and you nod at yourself. You feel like you could take on the world. Do you know what I'm saying?
there's a brief kind of lip bite and the slow shake of head.
Look, when I was dating girls and all that, I always made sure I got them something that they wanted to wear because Hama girls like to, some of them like that. They like to look their best. Men do too, but
It does sound nice.
You don't have to wear them all the time, 10 point, but every now and again, you can feel like $1 million. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Just means we would have to And she mock innocence this, like, she knows she's kind of weaseling for it. I suppose it just means we would have to go out to places where it would be worth wearing it.
Exactly. Why do you want to go out to places, do you?
And she turns a very faint pink tinge around her cheeks and ears. It's nice to go out, past the park.
Tell you what.
It's fun to dance with you.
When I get all this stuff sorted, and I'll have to challenge for Adrian soon, which means we'll have to go home. Once we get all that out of the way, and we get your dress, you and me will go out dancing. How about that?
And that earnest smile is back and another kind of warm pulse through the link. It'd be nice, Raya. I don't know how I'll feel after being home, but it'll be nice.
You smile. I know. We'll all feel ways, but we still have work to do here.
Yeah.
Now, lady, she gives her another splash across the face. I'm taking you in.
She gets splashed and wipes her face, kind of looks askance at him. How are you?
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna walk us soggy through the house.
I could sneak in.
She looks vaguely disbelieving.
Well, come on, I'll show you.
She was debating making a run for it for fun, but this is actually kind of more intriguing, so she'll kind of ease over.
Making his way out of the lake, and we'll pick up his stuff and hold out his hand. Come on.
Yep, she'll take the hand and hoist out.
Yeah, they kind of skulk along the side and come up to his window, which is open. He'll look at her, just like put his fingers to his lips. See? Operation Stealth 10 point.
Right, the last time we did this, you got stuck.
Yeah, but that was more panicked. And the window's open a bit more.
She looks a little skeptical and assesses the height of this window, which is probably reasonably fucking high. And, kind of gives a shrug looking up at it. I'm gonna get stuck.
I'll be fine. I'll go first. I'm assuming Aiden's fucking tall, so I'm assuming he climbs up probably no problem, I would imagine.
Well, that and he has more upper body strength than she does.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Next thing you see, he just gently lays down, very silent, and you just see him stick his head out and hold his hand out. Mom.
She's skeptical, and she's really eyeballing the width of that window and how far it's open and trying to assess whether she'll be able to fit her antlers through. But sure enough, I mean, they're not but so broad. It's a bit careful, but she manages to duck through it and will get herself hoisted in, because let's face it, hoisting herself up on that thing was unlikely to happen. And with that, she just kind of slips through the window.
And he'll take hold of her and look at her then. See? Silent as the grave.
She'll be taken hold of and still be kind of grinning and glance down. Still dripping on the floor, right?
Yeah, but that's in my room, so, we'll be fine.
Did he slip her in and up to her feet, or did they slide in and mischief style end up still on the floor?
Probably still on the floor, I would imagine.
And yeah, she will still have this just kind of delighted air going on, for all that she looks skeptical. As, the kinfolk are pattering by here and there. Just doing how they do around the cabin.
Mm-hmm. You even look up and probably look at her. We should probably keep quiet.
Why?
That was part of the fun, really.
And she'll kind of very quietly have a couple like laughing breaths where she's very carefully keeping the vocal aspect as smothered as possible. And she'll squirm out just enough to reach for where he's got probably a towel over a chair or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yoink it down. Flick it in his face.
He blinks.
Like flop it over his head type thing.
Yeah, he just like ruffles his hair and then looks at her. Just, smiles and all that.
And yeah, he gets a full couple seconds of just a little bit of a too fond look, though she will very promptly distract herself with glancing around to see if he's tossed another towel in a place that it doesn't belong.
Yeah, him commando crawl and get another towel and like stick it perfectly, like over her head, so it like hangs on the antlers.
She like initially does the little recoil as it sails at her, ducks her head, ends up with the towel draped over her antlers, and just can't even really be mad, can she? She just kind of glances up, realizes exactly what just happened, and shrugs, kind of grins, and pulls it down and starts trying to mop her hair dry.
Yeah, you can see him put his hand over his mouth, trying not to laugh.
It makes it worse. She finally has to lay off with the towel still half flopped over an antler. Both hands kind of pressed over her mouth.
He'll like look up and immediately like, crawl over to the door and you just hear the clicking of the locking then, and he'll look over and just go, "We're safe."
At which point she can at least sit up and properly try to get the worst of the lake water out of her hair. And all things considered, she's probably brought up whatever small case or whatever that she keeps her clothes in instead of keeping it under the cabin still. So she'll go kind of matter-of-factly about the process of like shucking the completely sodden dress and giving herself a quick wipe off, throwing another one over her head.
Yeah, and he won't be looking at her. He'll be in mid, like, throwing on a pair of shorts or something like that.
Yeah. Cursory change into dry clothes. It happens. She'll end up taking the wet dress and probably wrapping it up in the towel for now, just so it doesn't leave water stains on the floor.
Walks over. Mission accomplished then, 10 point.
Completely ridiculous, right? Still grinning, like fit to split her face, but...
So what do you want to do now?
She glances around, puts on kind of a playfully thoughtful face. Because there's the bed, which is always a compelling option. The window's open. There's this and that around the room. She finally gives up a helpless shrug. I couldn't say.
Can't look around. I mean, the bed's always nice and probably won't be disturbed. And sleep is nice.
The bed is nice.
Yeah, no, Aiden will kind of just plop himself down, quite relaxed, closing his eyes, arms like folded behind his back, on the back of his head.
And she'll clamor on with none of the sincerity ever. Just kind of playfully crawls up onto the bed and flops half on, half next to him.
And yeah, no, he closes his eyes and she can hear his heart just da-doom, da-doom, da-doom away. Probably asleep within 3 or 4 minutes later.
And this time around, rather than just passing out, she'll actually end up picking her head back up and glancing at him while he's sleeping. Kind of mulling, like just musing over how rapidly he's able to pass out. And we'll probably spend a good couple minutes just kind of studying his face while he's sleeping. Because it's so relaxed and happy that way.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's a good place to end it.
I'm pondering whether I want to make mistakes. Pondering. I'll set it to really, really low diff.
Oh boy.
It's be so easy to get away with it right now.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'll set it fair. I'll set it super low diff because it's not that bad. Oh, god damn it! I set the diff to 4!
What have you done?
Oh my god. I've done a bad thing. I set the diff so low. I've been passing on like 8s. What the fuck? I'm just gonna shake my head for a minute. Sit here taking what I just did. Okay, well, with that failed willpower roll. She'll stay there for a while. She'll probably lay her head back down for a bit. And actually no, she'll sit there and just kind of watch him sleep for a good bit. And will eventually act on impulse and shift herself up a bit higher on the bed, kind of the lean over thing one does when, you know, kissing someone on the forehead or something. But she doesn't aim for the forehead. Though she doesn't go full on either. She just kind of will drop a very light peck of a kiss on the corner of his lips. Just on the corner while he's hopefully very asleep. As she has waited a bit.
Let's see. I'm gonna roll a 1d2 when she's getting up on the bed. Let's see how loud, if she wakes Aiden up or not. Let's see if fate decides this.
I see how it's 1d2.
He wakes up, thankfully.
Yeah.
And she like creaks up over him. He like his eyes blutter open. You know.
Yeah, it doesn't look like much, but the fact that she like eases herself up next to him and his eyes snap open and she immediately turns bright red and kind of flops over. Abort mission has happened.
You know that sleepy face? You know, like what? You know what I mean?
Yep, she turns bright red and just kind of flops back down at his side. So innocent.
Is everything all right?
Yes, right. Everything's fine.
Want some? Did you wake me? What? You know, scratches the back of his head. You know that sleepy, like, why have I been awakened stare, you know?
She is what? She is nestled up, but hopefully, you know, down alongside where he can't really turn his head far enough.
Nah,
Not that helps because her face is burning, but yeah, she shakes her head very quickly. I was just shifting, Raya. I'm sorry.
Oh, all right. Turns over, you know. Within literally a minute, they're snoring.
Oh, God. Yeah, at that point, we'll not throw up a wall, but essentially just kind of pulls that very thin veil of a privacy curtain she's got in the pack link and hyperventilate on the inside. And we'll probably lay there for a while, staring at the ceiling. And eventually shake her head and curl up against his back and call it good.
I think with that near scandalous decision, I think.
Yep. That's a good place to end it. Oh God. Oh Jesus. Yep. So yeah, with that we'll call it a scene. So thank you, players, for playing, and watchers for watching this near travesty. We'll see you next time on the Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York.